The date was March 25th, 1911. The place Manhattan, New York City. The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. It was a Saturday. The factory was bustling. Nearly 500 workers, mostly young immigrant women, labored on the 8th, ninth, and 10th floors. They made blouses known as shirts. The room was thick with cotton scraps and paper patterns, highly flammable materials. Smoking was forbidden, but enforcement was lax. There was no modern fire suppression, no alarms, no sprinklers. At around 4:40 p.m., a fire broke out, believed to have started in a scrap bin on the 8th floor. In less than 3 minutes, flames engulfed the room. The workers panicked. Some ran to elevators. Others charged locked exit doors. Yes, locked doors. Owners had sealed them to prevent unscheduled breaks and theft. Stairwells quickly became impassable. Flames roared, smoke. The elevators could only carry a few people at a time and eventually stopped working. The fire escape collapsed. It had not been tested for capacity or heat resistance. Desperate girls began jumping from windows, 9 stories high. Bystanders watched in horror. Some tried to catch them. No one could. Firefighters arrived, but their ladders reached only the 6th floor. They were powerless. A safety net was deployed. It tore on impact. Within 30 minutes, the fire was extinguished, but the damage was done. 146 people were dead. 123 were women. Many were teenagers. Some bodies were so burnt they had to be identified by jewelry or dental records. As a technician, what failed here? Everything. No evacuation drills. No inspection standards. No fire-rated construction. Materials were packed dangerously close to ignition sources. There were no smoke detectors. No warning systems. Exits were intentionally blocked. A blatant breach of safety. Fire safety legislation at the time was nearly non-existent, and the culture of profit over people rampant. The building had passed inspections, but the inspectors weren't trained in fire dynamics. After the fire, families grieved. The city mourned, but mourning turned into protest, into reform. The owners, Blank and Harris, were put on trial. They were acquitted, yet public outrage forced change. The fire became a catalyst. Workplace safety committees formed. Labor rights grew stronger. The American Society of Safety Engineers gained traction. The Factory Investigating Commission was created. Reforms included mandatory fire drills, unlocked exits, fire extinguishers, minimum building codes emerged. Fire escapes were redesigned. Inspections became routine, not ceremonial. Legislation followed on. FBA standards gained recognition. The tragedy gave birth to modern occupational health and safety. As safety professionals, we remember this fire not to dramatize but to educate. Every time you see a fire exit sign, think of those who never had one. Every extinguisher in a hallway is a legacy of their loss. Every training session, every drill is a promise to never repeat the history. Lessons must be remembered. The cost of ignorance, lives, industrial safety is not a checklist. It's culture. It's respect for the worker, not just the bottom line. Organizations must ensure clarity in protocols, accessibility in exits. Emotional well-being matters. Panic costs lives. when support is absent. Systems must be designed inclusively considering language, ability, and context. Tragedies like Triangle remind us risk is not hypothetical. It is real and preventable. That's why safety audits matter. That's why training is non-negotiable. That's why we document incidents to learn and to evolve. Every protocol should be timeless, not reactive. Technologies help Sayat, real-time alerts, evacuation mapping, but even the best systems fail without human commitment. So today, in memory of those 146 souls we commit to vigilance, to empathy, to preparedness. This is not just a story, it is a legacy, one that shapes every safety manual, every policy, one that tells us prevention is compassion. To those who work long hours in factories, offices, and fields, you deserve safety. Safety is not a luxury, it is a right. Let this fire burn not in buildings but in our memory. Let it fuel reform. Let it spark protection. We, as technicians, carry their voices in every assessment, in every hazard evaluation, in every exit sign review. We must never forget, never be complacent, never trade safety for efficiency. Safety is the heartbeat of ethical industry. Thank you for listening to this story. If this message resonates, please consider subscribing. Leave a like, it's free and it helps us grow. Share this video with those who work in safety or in industry. Let's build a culture of awareness, of remembrance. And I will keep telling these stories. Together, we make workplaces safer. Until next time, stay alert, stay safe,